What is poppin' YouTube? How are you all doing today? It's your boy FadeLess here, and today we're coming at you guys with a tier list maker of Apex Legends characters. So, we got S tier all the way down to F. However, I might get rid of I'm gonna get rid of F. I'm gonna get rid of E, and I'm just gonna have it S, A, B, C, D. I feel like that's better. And we're really going to see where I believe these characters should go. Obviously, these are all my opinions, so I know you guys have your own opinions, so make sure to tell me where you guys think some of these legends belong in your own opinion as well. When I'm going through these, I'm also going to be going through them, like, thinking about it in a competitive level, and then also thinking about some of them in a personal opinionated level as well. So, like, obviously I don't use Gibraltar. For those of you that watch the streams, I don't use Gibby. However, he is really good in comp, really good in like high-end like ALGS tourneys and like stuff like that with Apex. So obviously he's gonna be like A to S tier type of character. But you know, besides that, let's move right into here. So first up, we have Ashe. Ashe is one of the newest characters that just came out, and honestly, I haven't used her a whole ton. I feel like her ability to get out of certain situations is very useful, especially since you can only go through the portal one way and you can't go back. I feel like it could be a really good idea to like trap people. I've seen it used in many different ways where you could use it to trap people because they can't go back through the portal, which is really nice. It's really good at like finding where people are at, and it's a little bit, this character is like a Bloodhound mix with like a Wraith mix, and I like it. I just haven't used her a lot. I think she's probably gonna be I'm gonna say like B or A tier. If he puts her under A, I'm dead, dude. You know, I think she's B or A. Definitely B or A. I hate Smart Dom because it doesn't sound right. Guys, this is a rare scene of Dom using 100% of his intelligence. This is facts, bro. Facts. But when it comes down to Ashe, she's either an A or B tier. Like, she's not S tier. You know, like, I'm not seeing her, you know, used in high-end ranked. So I'm seeing like people using Octane. I'm seeing people use Bangalore. A lot of other, you know, different characters. I'm even seeing Horizon used a lot. So, I don't know. I think I'm gonna move Ashe to A tier. I'm gonna have Ashe at A tier for right now. Later on, we can come back to Ashe. You really feel like, you know, see where we feel like she should be between A or B. And really go from there. I can't really give her like the best placement just since she's new. Not to mention she's also someone I haven't used a whole ton. Bangalore is definitely an S or A tier. I've been seeing her used a ton. I don't think she's S tier, so like that's why I'm gonna put her in A tier. But she's a very crucial character in many different situations, as we saw with King. We were playing with King the other day in a couple of our games, and he was using Bangalore, and it helped us in so many different situations, getting out of things, and then helped me, especially when I had the attachment, so I could see in the smoke, especially with the vault. I was able to shred people. It came in clutch. He was able to get out of different situations very quickly, grab our tags when we went down. There was just so much you could do with Bangalore, and I'm starting to see more and more people using Bangalore as well, which is amazing and incredible to see. Then we also have Bloodhounds. I like Bloodhound. Dude, I feel like I'm going to have so many people in A tier. That's the thing. I feel like Bloodhound is A or B. I see Bloodhound used in so many different ways. Ashe is definitely at least A tier. Ashe made Wraith irrelevant. That is a true statement, to be honest, Moss. So I totally agree, and that's why I would have her in like an A position. And I guess when it comes down to Wraith, well, she's probably gonna have to be like what, B or C? I think Wraith would be C tier, just because Wraith has gotten nothing but, you know, nerfs in the past. She hasn't gotten any buffs like really recently, and then they recently came out with a new character that's like better than her. So like, honestly, let's just move to like Wraith real quick and just put her in a nice little C spot. Going back to Bloodhounds, Dominax is smart is sort of scary, not gonna lie, creepy in a way. Yeah, I'm gonna send you a joke, put it on that. Dom is F tier. Thank you. Not gonna lie, this is the first time I've seen him use 100% of his brain. Damn, you guys really coming at me. Ash might pull up to an S tier for me, especially once people find some crazy shiz with her. To be honest, until I start seeing people like really using Ash in that type of way, where Ash could be used in ways that I never thought of to really push her to S tier, I can't put her there. I'm going to come back to Bloodhound because Bloodhound is hard for me because I like Bloodhound on a personal level, which makes me want to put him on A, but I think Bloodhound is a B tier person. Like, yeah, he scans people, can find people, or they scan people. Bloodhound is amazing, and they can do literally a lot. I just don't know. I feel like Bloodhound is B tier. Well, listen, I like Bloodhound on a personal level because he's like, because it's one of the first ever legends that I used and started to use when the game came out. And then I really enjoy using Bloodhound because it's a fun character to use. And it's easy to find people, see where people at. You can move, to different spots to get a better spot on them. You can use your ability, run faster, get out of different situations faster. And I like that. I think Bloodhound is B tier just because his ability is sort of irrelevant when it comes to Ash. Because Ash is basically Wraith plus Bloodhound. However, a little bit different. But I don't know. I see the way Nick Merckx uses Bloodhound, and he uses Bloodhound in super smart ways. And Nick Merckx is Masters. He just hit Masters today, I believe. And he's able to use Bloodhound in many different ways that I never even thought of. And he makes it look like Bloodhound is a comp level character, which, obviously is. Which makes me want to put him in A, but I just don't know if he deserves the A spot or not. So, till then, we'll have to move on with the next character. Caustic. When it comes down to Caustic, Caustic is either S or A tier. I see a lot of people using Caustic in the ALGS. I really feel like Caustic is probably an A tier. He has to at least be an A tier, but I see a lot of people using him in S tier ways. Like, he could be used in so many different ways, which could be great. I want to put him in S tier just because I see him so much in the ALGS. Octane's got to be an A though, right? Listen, I haven't gotten to Octane yet, but Octane is definitely a good one. I'm interested to see where you put Sear. Where would you guys put Octane?
Yo, check
this. I'll rate two legends real quick. Both Octane and Velik are A or B tier, leaning on A, mostly because they have hella transportation. You can rotate or relocate hella fast, which is mandatory in some situations. Boom. Okay, so Moss, I think Octane and Velik are great. I would put Octane in A tier, and I'm putting Valkyrie in S tier. Now, the reason for this is Octane, yes, you can get around very easily. However, the reason I'm putting him in A is because I see more people using Valkyrie than Octane. The reason for that is because with Valkyrie, you can stay back and loot outside of the circle and not have to worry as much because you know that you and your team can get on and shoot up and go to different places. I saw this a lot in the ALGS. I saw a lot of people using Valkyrie in many amazing ways. I didn't see as many people using Octane just because Octane now loses more health than what he used to, which really puts you at a big disadvantage, especially if you start going at, people when you least expect it. And that could put you at a huge disadvantage, especially for your team, especially if one person goes down, it's a 2v3, then that puts you at a huge disadvantage. However, his launch pads do make a huge difference, and especially when you're able to sprint fast and get out of different situations. If you're a really good Octane player, obviously it could put him up to S, but I'm gonna keep him at an A tier, in my opinion. Next up, I'm gonna go with Gibby. I think Gibby is definitely an S tier player. Just because with the ALGS, I'm going back on this a lot because I watch it every moment I get. If I see that the ALGS is on, I watch it because I want to watch the pros. I want to see how they play and pick up whatever I can. And honestly, a Gibby on your team can be crucial in so many different situations, especially end game when you're in the higher higher ranks and stuff. You're going against people that know what they're doing. And so, like, there's more squads left at the end. And if you don't have a Gibby on your team and you're under fire, you're getting whipped by shurikens, by grenades, by thermites, by people's ults. If you don't have him right there, you're at a huge disadvantage. Next up, Fuse. I'm putting Fuse at A. Fuse has been making a huge comeback. Fuse used to be C, or yeah, I'd say C. I don't think he's ever been like a D tier player. But listen, man, Fuse is making a huge comeback. He's doing great. His damage is amazing, especially end game when you could just like fling your stuff in certain situations. You can make people play out of areas, and then you can shoot them. When the circle is really small and you have people hiding behind rocks, you can shoot his little it's the Q ability. It's like the smaller ability. You could shoot that, and it, you know, makes them have to move around the rock, and then you can just gun them right down, and then you're gooch. And then his ultimate is even better, because then they're stuck in that ring, and you can go and, you know, grab them, take them right out, and they can't move out of that ring, or they're taking hella damage. And honestly, I would put him S tier, but I just don't see him played and used as much. Lifeline, you know, because I'm a Lifeline main, so obviously that makes Lifeline S tier in my opinion. Obviously, if I wasn't a Lifeline main, I would probably put her at a B or an A tier. Obviously she isn't like the greatest character of all time, but I enjoy using her. She does have a smaller hitbox, if I'm not mistaken, and also you're able to revive 2 of your teammates at the same time. And also revive yourself whenever you need it using your little, you know, robo guy. I call him Jimmy. And so obviously that's why I'm putting her at S tier. Now we have Watson. Watson is one of the newest buffed up characters. Yes, this season may be for Ash, but this season is definitely for Watson. Watson is going to be making a huge comeback during this season. I just haven't seen her played as much yet. So I'm putting Watson at a B tier at this point, just because she's not being used as much yet. But obviously, I think she's going to be a huge player that's going to be played more and more, especially in the ALGS later, probably this year. Because of all the buffs she got. She's also going to be a great character to use. I think that might make Gibby go down to like A if she ends up going all the way to S, just because she basically does the same thing that Gibby does, but also when it's like taking out the things that like could like hit you, it also like gives your teammates more shields at a faster level than what it used to. So I would put her at A, but I just don't see a lot of people using her as much, which is why she's at B tier at this point. One second, let me get caught up with stuff. Only healer in the game, so yeah. Listen, the only reason... Yeah, so like... That's another thing. Lifeline's the only healer in the game, which is why we gotta keep her at S or A. Like, we don't have another healer. And like, another reason, like, she's S tier for me... As a Lifeline main, you really don't have to carry medkits, so you can carry more bats or something for your team. You can carry more ammo, you can carry more, like, whatever else you want. You have more capacity to carry more stuff that you don't need. Or that you need, so, because you don't need the syringes or medkits as much. And next up we have Sear. Sear got nerfed. I don't know where I'd put Sear, to be honest. I'm between B and C with Sear. Like, for real. Like, with his nerf, it doesn't stun you anymore, really. So, it doesn't do much. Yeah, his ultimate is great. It's like a giant, like, little UAV of the whole area, which helps you a lot. But when you have the... I don't know. You can shoot his ultimate, and then it's useless, and it's not being used. And then his side ability, yeah, if you hit somebody, it stops them from like healing or whatever, but it doesn't stun them as it used to. Which that stun was huge and crucial, which is why I'm putting him either C or D. I just don't know where to put him like during there. I don't know. I feel like Bloodhound is probably better than Sear in a lot of different ways. Listen, I'm putting Sear at C tier just because you can destroy his ult and his other ability just isn't as strong. Meanwhile, if you're using Bloodhound, you can scan, and once you scan those people, you know where they're at. Obviously, with Sear's ultimate, you can use that, and you can see where everybody's at in the whole circle. But if somebody shoots that, you can't see anything. I think Mirage is an A tier, but he can also be S tier depending on like who's playing him. But I think he's a B tier. The reason I think he's B tier is because unless you're good with Mirage, you're just not gonna do well with him. Like he's one of the most difficult characters to use besides Crypto, because he's that difficult to use. You got to be able to like play mind games with like other people, and you got to be able to juke people out and be able to understand what you're doing with his abilities, when to use his abilities, where to go, how to act like the little bots that he makes, like the little the little like holograms of himself. You gotta learn how to like act like those, or like learn how to use them correctly. That's why I'm putting him at B, because he actually takes skill to use, and unless you have skill, you just aren't doing good, especially with him. Next up, I'm gonna go with Crypto, just because he's another skilled user. Crypto is very useful, but he's also like super difficult to use, and I feel like, I don't know, Crypto for me is between C or D. Like, I just don't use Crypto. I don't like using him. I don't like that when you're running around, your drone doesn't follow you. I feel like that would be awesome if your drone like at least followed you from above, even if it didn't scan anything. But I don't know. I just feel like once you start using your drone, you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage. But yes, you're able to scan people. You're able to like use your ultimate on people and break their shields and stuff. That's huge. But it also comes like, it comes at a price, because obviously you could just go down easily. You got to be pretty good and at least knowledgeable of how to use them. For obvious reasons, I really do feel like he could probably be like A or B, because he's like really good if you know how to use him correctly. But honestly, I think he's I don't know if I could put him D. I could probably put him C and feel good about that. I'm trying to think who I would put D. Like, we definitely got to put somebody at D. And like, low-key, Rampart. Listen, hear me out on this. Rampart's minigun is amazing. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but Rampart is just not all that good. You can put up barriers and you can use the minigun, but even though you could take the minigun with you, I still don't feel like she's strong enough or great enough to, like, you know, be chosen as much as the others. Like, if you're watching the ALGS, you don't see a lot of people going with Rampart, or going with, you know, some of these other characters that I have down here. Sometimes you see somebody with a Wraith or somebody with like some of these, but most of the time you're seeing like people that are using these, not Lifeline, but you see people go with some of these. All right, so when it comes down to Caustic, I want to go back to Caustic real quick. I feel like Caustic is another, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't feel like we should have a lot of, I feel like S tier should be like lower. Like a lower amount of people should be in like S tier, but I feel like Caustic is definitely like an A tier person. Like his gas bombs, they slow people. You put down those big crates of gas, like you could block doors, you could do so much more other stuff with that, and that comes in like handy, especially end game. And then especially like his ultimate is just amazing. That you know, ends up hitting people for their health. So that definitely comes in clutch, especially end game. And I see a lot of people using him, especially in the ALGS. Has to be that D tier. Did you do Horizon yet? I'm not. I'm doing Horizon right now. And when it comes down to Horizon, I think Horizon is, I think she's either B or S. I don't even think there's like an in between. It's either B or S. Like, Horizon is either really, really good or really, really bad. And her ultimate is amazing. And that just like, it just grabs everybody. I don't like it that it can grab your teammates though, because that really puts your teammates at a disadvantage when they get close to it, because I've had that happen to me a couple times. But it can come in like handy. Especially when you're like, you get the other, you use it on the other team, and you just start chucking your grenades. If you stun people within it, oh my god, you're golden. You just start chucking like thermites, grenades, and those people are down. It's amazing, and it can be cracked. Personally, I think she's S tier. I think she's S tier at this point as well. Just because she's being used so much more. I'm seeing more and more people use her, especially on the new map. Because once you can use her ability in some ways to like hit the cannons faster, or you can use her abilities to like throw people off of things. And for that reason, I think she's definitely, we could put her at S tier, and I can feel somewhat comfortable about that. Next up we have Loba. I think Loba's either a C or a B. Like, she's not all that good. She can get out of situations. The reason I think she's a B is because with the new map with the cannons, she's one of the few characters that can actually move off of the cannons. Like, she can use her ability and jump off of the cannons if she wants, mid-air. And she can get away from different teams that are still on the cannons that have to go all the way down. She can grab loot, which is really good, especially early game. D tier for Loba? C tier? Bro, come on. I'd feel comfortable putting her C tier. I was just hyping her up a bit. I felt like B tier would have been like pretty good for her, but yo, I'm fine with C tier as well. It's just because unless they give her the ability for you to use her ability and then be able to pick up your teammates like tags, she's C tier. She's stuck at C tier. I feel like she'd easily be B tier if you could use her black market ability and pick up your teammates tags. I don't know why they don't allow you to do that. It would make so much sense for you to be able to do that. But it's whatever. When it comes to Pathfinder, I don't think Pathfinder is all that good. The zip lines are cool. They help in some situations. The grapple's okay, but unless you're good with them, like, you're just, I just don't know. Like, you could just get out of some situations. You can help your team get out or get up on things. I'm between B or C with him, or even D. Now don't disrespect these last two. She's stuck there until she gets that, to be honest. Put her in D rank. I'm gonna dislike this video. C or B tier, to be honest. C or B? You'd put him at B. Why? I just don't see Pathfinder being used a lot, you know? In comp, I don't see Pathfinder used a lot. Like, most of the, like, you got to think about, like, how the teams are set up. Like, a lot of people are set up with, like, Valkyrie so they can get out of situations, Gibby so they have shield, and then, like, a fuse, or, like, a, well, I'm spacing out right now. or like, why can't I think of her name? Why can't I think of her name? I'm losing my mind. But you know what I mean, this person. Or they'll have like a Wraith or somebody else that will like also help with like certain things, or do something else. I've seen a lot of good path mains. Bangalore, there we go. I don't know why I couldn't think about that. But yeah, like, usually, here's a good comp team. A good comp team is Valkyrie, who can get out of situations, and like, if you're outside the circle, you don't got to worry about it. You can keep looting, then you can get the fuck out of there with your team and get into the circle, get good placement. And then you got Gibby, who, when you get to the end of the game, you can put down your circle, you put down your bubble, you're safe. You can also use your ultimate, which sends down stuff and hits people. And then you also have Bangalore. Use their ultimate, which also sends down missiles, you know, blows up stuff, is very, very helpful, especially when you have Gibby's ultimate on top of that, and you guys are golden at endgame. Golden. I just don't see Pathfinder zipping out of stuff being, like, anywhere close to B tier. If you have a good team with Path, I think he'd be at B tier, but personally, I put him on C. Listen, Karma, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think he's C tier as well. Revenant, I think, is B tier. I think it's easily, you know, safe to say he's B tier. Revenant, I think Revenant is easily a B tier because for one reason, he can use his ultimate. His teammates come at you because they don't give a flying fluff, because they know that they're just going to come right back to life. And so they just rush after you. They're shooting, they're throwing thermites, they're throwing whatever they want at you, and they're just hitting you. and you're low, and then once they go all the way back to the thing, they get back up on the ledge where they're at, and they're just, you know, they're shooting at you, they're hitting you, and that's where Revenant is like a pain in the arse. And then especially if he hits you with his other ability, you're not able to use your ability for a little while, which can put you at a huge disadvantage, you know, especially if you have another team coming up on you, or if you're trying to get out of the situation very quickly. So Revenant can also get on top of things, and he can also climb faster, so there's also that. But, you know, Revenant B tier for me, just because obviously he could be a pain, especially end game when he uses his ability. His teammates can go out, you know, find where people are at, and then they get sucked back into where they were. They can heal up and then go from there, even after, you know, putting in some damage and figuring out where everybody's at. So for that reason, he could be very useful, and that's why I feel like he's a good B. I'm trying to look at the list here and see where I think people should go. I really do feel like I should move Lifeline down to like A or B, but I don't want to. I don't know. I feel like I should move some of these down. Like some of these, like, I don't know, are some of them up. At a last glance, I feel like this looks good. Pain in the ass. Anyways, so when it comes down to Ashe, especially with like the new map, she's very, very crucial because she can use her ability where she's able to, like, you know, tag people. And if they're going to shoot up the cannon and she hit them with the tag, they're going to come back off the cannon. They're not going to get shot off, which puts the other team at a huge disadvantage because they get stunned. They're shot back. They can't move for a second. You're able to just, you know, just peg them. So besides that, guys, this is my tier list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, where you guys think some of these characters should go, or legends. I know some of you guys are going to definitely say, like, yo, Lifeline is probably a B tier or even C tier. And listen, Ligma, I like Lifeline. She's my main. That's why she's S tier. So, yup. Also, I'm sure there's other legends that you guys see within here that you guys think should be in other places. As I said before, this is my, you know, this tier list is just my opinion. Also, I'm going off of like some of the stuff I've seen within the ALGS, which I explained within the video. So if you guys agreed with anything within this video, please let me know about that as well. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and we'll definitely make some more of these videos in the future. If you guys want to see this live, please come check out the Twitch, which the Twitch is twitch.tv/FadeLessHD. We go live every single day, 6 p.m. Eastern, usually till around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern. So till then, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.